will give also answer to Vladislav's last question. What distinguishes Baltic Sea region and Baltics from Mediterranean? Okay, yes, my presentation will be based on statistics and numbers. This job was done for Marte project, basically based on the same data as the Blue Economy report that Tina referred back to. But we wanted to have more details on marine technology related sectors and Baltics and Baltic Sea region, and go to niches and subsectors and activities. So I retrieved the data and presented in a little bit another way than this Baltic or Blue Economy report does. Next slide, please. Yes, and this map also comes from the same source, the Blue Economy dashboard, and the color code is basically that blue is big and red is small, and white is something in between. We have the benefit of having the European largest blue economy in our sea basin. Basically, everything else is, at least over the Baltic Sea region, is scale-wise quite modest. Another, maybe not from a Blue Economy dashboard data, but rather maybe other facts that can be also brought out in this map is that European champions in innovation are also at Baltic Sea region, being Sweden, Finland, Denmark, also our region, and third fact that the same countries are world champions in such ratio as persons per boat. When you take the population and find the ratio to boats registered, number of boats registered in the country, then basically Finland, Sweden compete with New Zealand, having 6 or 7 persons per boat. So I would say this indicates marine culture and people going to sea more than other countries. It says something. Okay, to get closer, next slide. The color code here is that the pink is Baltic Sea region, red are Baltic states, and blue are all the others. So it maybe reveals this previous map a little bit better and gives the sense of the scale. And well, having this Germany in neighborhood, we actually, Baltics always have to work with ratios to get some kind of comparison out of anything. So next slide, I will show you more closely the volumes. Well, Germany forms more than a half of blue economy in Baltic Sea region, and is the largest blue economy in Europe. So we have to keep in mind that whatever we plan to do, whatever developments we might desire to undertake. But on the next slide, to give you a more optimistic view, if we can change, yes, this is the, I call this graph national weight or national importance of blue economy. It is a share of blue economy from nations' GDP. And here we kind of look a little bit better. I have done this analysis a number of times before, recent years, and it always shows like that. Maybe now it is 2022 data. Denmark is a little bit too large, but I will show you later where it comes from. I think coming years it will even out a little bit more. And the next slide shows productivity. And here we get back to the reality. The upper countries are the champion innovators, of course, but not only. These are also capital-based economies. And we have to keep in mind that these productivity ratios you can always get higher when you produce elsewhere. So these are the countries who own the value chain. They have the development of product, and they have the marketing, and they have capital to invest. So let's get further to the Baltic Sea region. Click few more times. I have animation there. Yes, here is answer a little bit to Vladislav's question. This is comparison of European sea basins. And I wanted to bring it out because in every category, Baltic Sea region kind of is the best, excels in everything, especially in productivity. And it merely comes from that the only thing that Baltic Sea is lagging behind is employment rate. So it means that we are producing here more with machinery, more with capital, and less with labor. And when you look at the productivity, Mediterranean and Black Sea, they are more reliant on coastal tourism. They have no seasonality issues that much as we do. And they have marine resources in the sense of living resources. They have very interesting fish. If you happen to go to their fish markets, you see totally different picture than you see here. And this is primary production, labor intensive, and not that high in productivity. Okay. Yeah, to get even more close, I don't expect you to analyze those graphs. I wanted to bring it out, the dynamics. Also, because the Blue Economy Dashboard data only goes until 2022, so this is history. The new report and data is to be released within few weeks, actually. So we get the opportunity to make this work all over again and update it. But what I wanted to show is that everything is growing. The volumes are growing, investments are growing, everything is growing except employment in Baltic Sea region. Employment, oil and gas niche sector is also rather declining, and actually there is one more activity that is declining, and this is catch of fish, which is strictly, it is reliant on the fish quota, how much you can catch. The sector overall volumes are not that much declining. They are, this fish catch is being substituted kind of with freshwater and marine aquaculture. And a lot of effort seems to go in valorization. But I did not dig those valorization and on land activities that much. I was interested in those activities that are ongoing at sea. And what I found that with a fish catch and marine aquaculture, it has been growing. Latvia, Germany, Poland, or not Latvia, Germany, Poland, Lithuania don't do that. It is merely sports in Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Scandinavia, and it is growing in Baltics, in Latvia and Estonia. So this is clearly emerging sector that we have here in Latvia and Estonia. Other peculiarities are that in the moment when renewable energy sector reveals in a country, investments grow, of course. And this is speciality of Denmark and Germany for now. But we know that in coming years it should reveal also in Poland because they are currently building their offshore wind. And the fluctuations in when you look at the productivity, marine transport productivity apparently went up from 2000, and this is a kind of anomaly that came from Corona, because you remember the cargo freight was very, how to say, there was a deficit of marine containers, and the profitability, especially from German marine transport, tremendously rose. And I expect it will come back in 2003, 4, 5. And we see how this Ukrainian war and sanctions and Hormuz incidents will affect. But I think it will not reveal that much in Baltic marine transport. And of course, the scale of Germany is huge there. Okay, and yes, the productivity, you see the line that is going down there. I had to use secondary axis. This is basically Danish oil and gas. They have exhausted their resources and the productivity has declined. At the same time, renewables go up. Next slide. And this is the specialization I wanted to bring out. This is basically what the national blue economies consist of. And as I am running out of time, apparently I will just, the core findings here are that coastal tourism is strictly correlated to coastline length. That's it. And it creates jobs and is not very profitable, is not very productive, but it designs the living environment for the other sectors that have to be situated on the coastline. That's why it is important. For non-living resources, Denmark only, Denmark solo, will not probably reveal in our countries either because we don't have gold under our seabed. For port activities, clearly the most important sector for Latvia, not in scale, but in structure, in overall scale. In Germany is far ahead of us, so don't try to compare yourself. And for the scales, please next slide, to get you back to reality. The same data in absolute numbers looks like that. So not to get confused, this is how we stand. Next slide. Yeah, I tried to profile Baltic states. The color scheme is again the same volume, but the volumes are actually comparable. We are quite similar. Match yourself to your own size, they say. I would say that Lithuania is very industry-centered compared to others. They have living resources, fisheries. Distant catch is Latvian sports. Those fishing fleet that goes to third countries and fishes there. Latvia has large ship fisheries and Estonia small ship fisheries, basically. Then Latvia is clearly service-oriented, port services, also transportation somewhat. In transportation, there is a work division that Estonia has passenger freight, Lithuania has cargo, like goods, and in Lithuania there is inland waters transport for some reason. Yeah. And Estonia's profile is diversified. I couldn't say what the specialty is, but for all countries, I can say that we are concentrated in small scale production, except maybe Lithuania, who has big shipbuilding in Klaipėda. However, the Western shipyard is owned by Tallinn shipyard, so Estonia produces big ships in Lithuania. Has to consider that. Next slide. Just to intrigue you, this is how we stand generally. Estonia and Latvia have this fluctuation from Corona in general value added in blue economy, because Lithuania does not have coastal tourism that much. And Lithuania has invested in industry and it grows much faster than we do. And if you look at the net investments, the core investments from Lithuania go to fisheries, but also to shipbuilding, and it pays out. And the next slide. Yes, I brought out ports and shipbuilding because these are the core sectors for marine technologies, shipbuilding, under which we also have instruments, engines, building, and marine technology, so to speak, and ports who enable it. So this is, I thought, is also rather intriguing with port services. We kind of have come together. Look where we started, and now we are more or less at the same scale. And with the shipbuilding, Lithuania is saying bye-bye. And the moral slide for the last, what to take with us from this analysis, I'd say that whatever we plan, we have to consider the scales. If we ever feel tempted to enter the global big value chain, we have to think very carefully. We have limitation time-wise, meaning people, capital, space, where to do something. But we have great markets in the neighborhood. We have scale production places at neighborhood, and the know-how right here. And we are good in semi-custom and quality productions that other countries do not want to take. We have fourth season. We have EU border with unfriendly neighbor, including in water. We know languages, not only like Russian, French, and English, but also programming languages. And that gives us opportunity to specialize in medium TRL and piloting, hopefully. At least we don't have that many options to excel in scale business. So that's it from me.